So the CW's next big crossover event, Elseworlds, is set to start this Sunday, and honestly, I'm quite looking forward to it. I've loved the previous two crossovers that they did, Invasion and Crisis on Earth X, and I always feel like they do a great job with these crossovers. I mean, the Legends aren't part of it this year, and they were always my favourite part of the previous crossovers, but I feel it's still going to be a good crossover event no matter what. That being said, this particular video is going to be more kind of a creative type, as having loved all the previous kind of crossover episodes, I am personally going to put forward kind of two kind of rough ideas for what I imagine a crossover episode would look like. I'm not expecting these to happen. God no. I mean, I wouldn't have all the ideas figured out, and frankly, I appreciate if these ideas are a little bit crap. But yeah, these are two kind of rough ideas of what I imagined a DCCW crossover would look like. The first one I had a couple of years ago, and I kind of had most of it kind of formulated out in my head. I mean, recent kind of changes, though, with Legends of Tomorrow would have changed the episode, changed the plot slightly, but here is the kind of rough outline of it, with the changes now with Legends of Tomorrow. The Legends, and John Constantine especially, they discover that the DC demon Trigon is due to rise onto their plane of existence and will destroy everything. Fearing that this may be a little bit too much even for them to handle, they decide to get in as much help as they can. So, knowing that Trigon is due to kind of rise, or is predicted to rise in Star City, they decide to contact Oliver and the rest of Team Arrow to help. Upon hearing the news, however, Felicity states that this may be a bit much even for them to handle, and so she suggests, and the team agrees, rather reluctantly, to bring in Barry and Team Flash to also help out with it. So they contact Barry and the team at Star Labs to tell them about the imminent threat of Trigon. They agree to help, and they also suggest that they should contact Kara on Earth 38 to ask her for help. Everyone readily agrees, and so the team begin getting ready. Eventually they would go off to try and face down the demon Trigon and send him back to whatever hellscape he came from. Yeah, I admit the idea isn't quite as fully formed as I think it would be, and I have no idea how they would beat the villain Trigon, but there you go. When I posted this idea kind of before on social media, people actually have said that, that actually sounds like it would be a rather good episode, and even said it would be a pretty good way of tying into the recent DC show Titans, which focuses on the Teen Titans, since in the comics, the Teen Titan Raven is actually the daughter of Trigon. But yeah, it would probably be a little bit too complicated to kind of fully realise. But yeah, it was an idea I had for kind of a long time, and it is kind of a bit fun to think about. The other idea I had was kind of one that got suggested kind of quite recently to me. And it was that it, to me, started out as a fairly small idea, something for just kind of like one episode of The Flash. But then somebody suggested it could actually be much bigger. And that idea was, the original idea I had was that maybe at some point in the future Flash should encounter his crime syndicate equivalent, Johnny Quick. Johnny Quick being the Flash equivalent on the crime syndicate team, a team from an alternate Earth where they're kind of a Justice League villains equivalent. And I kind of suggested that maybe at some point Flash should encounter Johnny Quick, if just for an episode. Okay, the Team Flash has already encountered one member of the crime syndicate for the comics anyway, with that being Deathstorm, that they encountered in season 2. And that maybe Johnny Quick might be a good idea. At which point somebody suggested the crime syndicate, they're actually good enough that they should probably get their own crossover event in The Flash. or crossover event in the Arrowverse, we just started thinking, and I thought to myself, maybe. I mean, it would have to be select members of the crime syndicate. I mean, I'm not sure they would be able to do stuff like Owlman, Superwoman, Power Ring, Grid, or Sea King, because well, they're DC equivalent heroes. They can't really do any Arrows. They can't really do Batman. They can't really do Wonder Woman. They've hinted at Green Lantern, but they haven't done it. I don't think they could really do Cyborg or Aquaman, but there were a few that I thought could work in there. For example, as I suggested, Johnny Quick. There's also Green Arrow's equivalent, Deadeye. Yeah, and also Atomica. Yeah. I began to think to myself, yeah, the pieces are there, and yeah, kind of, as I said, they wouldn't really be able to do stuff like Owlman or Superwoman, but if Tyler Hoechlin was prepared to do it, they could maybe do Ultraman, kind of Superman's equivalent. So I began to think it through and think, yeah, there's possibility. I mean, it would. I think the story around them would ultimately be that the various members of kind of all the teams get captured. For example, Kara would get captured. So would Barry, Oliver, Ray. They would all get captured by members of the crime syndicate, who would then come to their Earth, kind of taking their place and causing chaos throughout the Arrowverse. And it would be up to their teammates to try and find out what happened to them and bring them back to fight off their evil kind of crime syndicate duplicates. Once again, I don't have the idea kind of fully formed, but I think it could have been something that would be quite interesting to watch. But there you go. Two ideas that I had kind of rolling around in my head for CW crossovers that I thought could be interesting to watch. I mean, I don't expect them to happen, not by any means, but yeah, I think it sounds like it would be good. But anyway, let's hope Elseworlds is as good as it is, and it looks pretty good to see. Looking forward to it. See ya.